Hey everyone, it's Derek with OPTP. Today, we're gonna look at 3 different foam rolling techniques for ankle mobility. Let's get started. Okay, so all these movements are gonna be done from the floor. Now, what's important to note before we begin here is I have my new Pro Roller Super Soft. This is a super soft density foam roller, so it's gonna be really gentle in areas that are particularly sensitive in a lot of people, which actually for a lot of us is the kind of ankle complex here. So now what I'm gonna do first here is I'm gonna position it underneath the legs. I'm gonna cross one leg over the other. You're gonna see the Super Soft start to bow a little bit here because of its density, which is completely normal. I'm gonna take my hands and rest them along the sides of the body, lift my hips up off of the floor, and really start to just release the calves. So this is our first little release technique here, is this calf release. And all I'm doing is I'm breathing, rolling back and forth, covering, first of all, the area from just above the ankle to about the middle of the lower half of the leg. And what I like to do here as well to really mobilize and create a more dynamic self-massage is kind of point the toes off in one direction, roll a few times back and forth there, return to center, and then go in the opposite direction and do the same thing. We're gonna wanna cover the upper half of the lower leg as well. So reset. For about 30 seconds we would spend here. Again, you can turn the toes, work towards the inside of the leg there, turn in the opposite direction, work towards the outside, and then switch and of course do the other side. So after we've completed that, we would then take the roller, bring it under the body here as we flip into almost a quadruped position here. And I'm gonna position the Pro Roller Super Soft along the shins. Now, for a lot of us, doing this with a more firm foam roller could cause a lot of pain and kind of tightness to the point where we couldn't even engage in this release technique. But because of the density of the Pro Roller Super Soft here, I'm able to do this really comfortably and very effectively, which is great. So I'm gonna get into this all fours position here. And this next release technique, all we're gonna do is we're gonna begin by lifting the knees up off of the floor, and we're gonna roll the front of the legs now, just like we did the back of the legs. So starting from this time just below the knees, working towards about the middle of the lower half of the lower extremity there. And again, we can turn a little bit from side to side. This is where we might start to get on like the tibialis anterior of one side, right, which is a muscle that tends to be really tight in a lot of us, especially if we do a lot of high impact activity, or maybe if we're runners or do a lot of plyometrics. So wonderful little way to get into that area here as we turn the hips. Of course, we can move it back to center and then turn the other way. Don't forget to move the roller down more towards the ankles and work that lower half as well. Now, after we've done that, we're going to, instead of doing both sides of the body at the same time, instead of treating both sides of the body at the same time, we're going to work on one side of the body at a time for this last technique. So I've got the roller now offset underneath this side, and I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to lift up off the floor into a quadruped position, but this time I'm really going to focus on creating some different movement patterns with the ankle and into the foot complex here. So I'm going to plantar and dorsiflex to start here, is I'm letting as much of my body weight bear down on this side as I can. So I'm kind of shifting my center of mass over that leg, and then I'm going to plantar and dorsiflex. And what I'm doing is I'm creating length across a lot of those areas along the ankle complex that tend to be really tight in a lot of us. So flexing and extending here. Now what we can do here as well is kind of turn the body and turn the leg and get more onto the lateral aspect of the lower half of the lower extremity, really working into that tibialis anterior. So what I'm gonna do from this position here is lift. I'm gonna turn, let my body weight bear down, and now I'm on the outside of the lower half of the leg there, and I'm gonna roll here. And I can combine the flexion and extension if I'd like, or I can leave the position in dorsiflex or plantar flexed here. But either way, you can mess around with kind of mobilizing that area as we release. This is a wonderful release technique. And again, doing it with a Pro Roller Super Soft, it's not going to create a tremendous level of pain or discomfort. All right, everyone, thanks so much for watching. If you want to learn more about the Pro Roller Super Soft, just go to optp.com. Again, this is not only great for people with sensitive tissues or those who want a less intense myofascial release experience, but if you like using a foam roller as a prop for exercise, this provides a wonderful level of instability as well. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time.